The Native Plant Society of Texas is a member organization, and every year we have an annual meeting in which we inform our members about our activities and finances, and we elect officers. We held our annual meeting this year on October 17th at the Austin Airport Hilton. I'm Bill Hopkins, president of the state board, and this presentation is an adaptation of the one that was presented at the meeting. As state president, I'll give you an overview of the state board activities. Then we will approve the minutes from the previous meeting, look at our financial position, and finally we will hear the results of our election for new officers. What has this Native Plant Society of Texas been doing in the past year? That's what I'm going to try to summarize in a few minutes, and hopefully you'll have some idea by the end of my remarks. Last year, I was at this meeting and bragged about how much our membership had increased in 2014. Well, look at it this year. Last year, the increase was 3%. This year, we increased our membership by 9% over 2014. Our memberships are over 2,100 for the first time. In fact, we are well on our way to the 2,200 level. What are we doing? We had our second annual membership contest in the first 3 months. Lindheimer chapter was the winner of the contest with 19 new members for a 32% increase. Austin chapter, Big Bend, and Kerrville chapter also had large increases. In addition, in the spring, we also tweaked our renewal process so that we remind members a little sooner and provide a more compelling message. We currently have 32 chapters across the state. That's one less than last year. Garland chapter dissolved, but the good news is that its members have been absorbed by the Dallas chapter and the Collin County chapter next door. One of the things that started happening to me after I got on the state board is that people came up to me and say, "I've just been elected president of my chapter, but I have no idea what I'm supposed to do." Well, that question was the inspiration for the Chapter Leader Handbook. At the state board meeting last October, we formed the Special Projects Committee, chaired by Del Hood. One of the things that committee took up was documenting what the chapter president and the chapter treasurer are supposed to do. Actually, that documentation already existed, but it was in a dozen different places. The Chapter Leader Handbook puts it all together in one place, and we decided to go completely old school and print it in an actual book that you can hold in your hand and carry with you to meetings or keep on your desk. Every chapter is different. Some big chapters have as many committees and as many people on their chapter boards that the state board does. So we're not trying to describe the duties of all those people. What this book does is tell you what the state board expects the chapter president to do or the chapter board to do. Your own members probably have their own expectations, and you'll have to ask them what those expectations are. We have also continued to enhance the tools on our website, which are available to all chapter leaders. And I also want to mention the workshops that our chapter liaison, Dennis Pertz, created, which focus on defining goals for chapters and members. Dennis and Lonnie presented that workshop to many of the chapters throughout the year. Membership is not the only thing that is having a banner year this year. We had $35,000 in grants, which may be a record for us. That includes $9,000 for the Bring Back the Monarch project, $5,000 from the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, $2,000 from Monarch Watch, and $2,000 from the Amy Shelton McNutt Charitable Trust. We also received $7,000 in funds to help support the symposium from the Diane Graves Owen Foundation, the Texas Parks and Wildlife Foundation, the Nature Conservancy, and the Lady Bird Johnson Wildflower Center. We received a grant from the Alfred S. Gage Foundation for general funding. And finally, we received $18,000 from the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service for our newest project. And I want to thank Pam Middleton, Cecil Carter, Kathy Downs, and Kay Jenkins for their work in securing these grants. The Native Plant Society has entered into a cooperative agreement with the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service and TxDOT to design and build Monarch way stations at 2 safety rest stops on Interstate 35 at Hillsborough and near Salado. We will also maintain the rest stops for a period of 5 years. Kay Jenkins is leading this project and has formed a committee for this purpose. Monarch way stations can increase awareness of monarchs and help the public learn to identify and conserve the native plants that they depend on for survival. These gardens also provide high-quality monarch habitat along the migratory route and may inspire others to create monarch way stations too. Monarch way stations are our second monarch-related project. Our first is the Bring Back the Monarch to Texas project, which we started several years ago. This is the program where we award small grants to schools and community groups to build their own monarch way stations. This year we awarded 56 such grants totaling over $11,000. You can find the complete list of projects on our website. This committee also does much more than just award grants. They speak at numerous events to school children and to community groups about monarchs and their dependence on native plants. The committee is also involved in efforts to propagate and conserve Texas native milkweed. Our education committee, headed by Dee Dee Wright, awarded Ann Miller Gonzalez Research Grant to Kimberly Belair of the University of Texas for research on how urbanization affects the interactions of native bees and native plants. Also this year, we awarded the Kate Hillhouse Scholarship to Jennifer Parton, majoring in range management at Tarleton State University. This is the first scholarship that we have awarded from this committee. One of the things we can all be especially proud of is the rapid development and quality of our Native Landscape Certification program. In less than 2 years after it became a statewide program, it has expanded into 6 geographic regions and offers 3 levels of instructions. Since the inception of the program, the NLCP has taught classes to over 1,000 students. Operation NICE is a program that's been around for many years, but it continues to be a vital part of our mission. 11 chapters participate in it and 25 different nurseries. You can find a list of all the participating nurseries at our website. We ask for your help in maintaining the accuracy of our listing. We also offer a financial incentive for chapters who want to start an Operation NICE program in their area. Every so often it becomes necessary to tweak our procedures to make them work a little better. A few years ago, we began to realize that the nomination process for state board officers didn't work as well as we would have liked. We decided to make some changes. 2015 is the first year that all of those changes have been in place. Under the new procedure, the past president is the chair of the nominations committee. Other members of the committee are appointed by the state board. No longer will we be dependent upon selecting a committee at the chapter leaders meeting. We announced our new candidates at the July meeting and conducted our election online where everyone can participate. We'll hear more about that later. This year, it became apparent that we needed to change the symposium planning process. Some of you may remember that at one time, the president-elect was responsible for planning the symposium. We changed that back in 2011, but we still kept a system where we had a new committee every single year who had to reinvent the wheel. At our July board meeting, we adopted a new system. We will have a standing committee reporting to the state board that will plan all of our symposiums. They will present a proposed site to the board each year along with a budget that must be approved by the board. The symposium committee will continue year to year. Our first chair is Cynthia McGuire. Cynthia is a past president of the society and was also co-chair of the 2010 symposium in Denton. Yesterday, the state board approved a proposal to hold the 2016 symposium in the Western Cross Timbers area. One of the most popular perks of a membership is our quarterly news magazine. Although more and more people are shifting away to digital media, we intend to keep printing our magazine on real paper for the near future. Stephen Brugerhoff will continue working with that magazine. Facebook and digital media is also impacting us more and more. We have had a major state presence on Facebook since 2009, but now we are seeing many of our chapters starting up chapter pages and especially groups on Facebook. We're also seeing more chapter websites, and most of them have switched to one of our WordPress templates. There are only 3 chapters left who do not use our WordPress platform. And of course, we have the online training program for chapter webmasters. Since our present website was set up in 2009, we have had over 1 million visitors to the site. And we now have a bookstore again. This time it's an Amazon affiliate online store. Every time a book is purchased on the site, the Society receives a small commission. So buy your books from the site and help us out at the same time. I'd like to thank Robert Camper for setting up the bookstore. We've also put our symposium proceedings online. You can download previous issues back to 2009. And we continually work to make LeaderWeb more user-friendly. I've been talking about what we did in 2015, so what's ahead? One thing is we need to provide more support for the Bring Back the Monarch program. That program is expanding more than the present organization is able to handle. They also need marketing materials like brochures and handouts, and they need training for speakers for the program. In addition to speakers for the Bring Back the Monarch to Texas program, we also need speakers to tell our own story. So we need to train speakers to do that and provide publicity materials for them too. We need better support for small chapters. We should consider revising our rebate program so that more of the money can go to small chapters instead of mostly going to the biggest chapters. We also need to develop more programs so that our chapters can adopt them without spending a lot of their own time in developing them. On our brochure and in our website, we tell people that we have local chapters with educational programs, workshops, and so forth. If we make these promises to people, we need to follow through and make sure that our chapters have the resources so that they can fulfill those promises. We also approved minutes from the previous annual meeting at our meeting, and we reviewed our finances. For the 12 months ending September 30th, we had income of $228,964 and expenses of $231,688. Our total assets total $368,178. You can download a complete profit and loss statement and balance sheet from our website to see all the detail of these finances. Our Nominations and Election Committee Chair, Lonnie reported on the recent voting for the state board. These candidates were elected for the 2015 to 2017 term. 248 people voted in the online election, and their new candidates elected were Kathy Trisna, Kay Jenkins, Stephen Brugerhoff, Kevin Janney, Martha Pete, and Cecil Carter. Linda Knowles will become the new president, and I will continue as past president. Dee Dee Wright and Teresa Thomas will also continue to serve on the board through the end of their terms. I want to thank Kathy Trisna, who is chair of the 2015 Symposium Committee, and all of the other members of the committee who made the arrangements for the annual meeting at the symposium at the Austin Airport Hilton. Thank you.